Why does my hair look so fucking messy? Why does my hair look so fucking messy?
Hello, hello. Welcome to Ladies of the Roundtable episode 100. 100, guys. We made it. Just over the hump. 100. And to celebrate our 100 show, we're bringing back alumni. Page 6.
Hi.
I think you're there. Am I right? Did I get it right this time?
One waving, jazz hands.
Did I get it right? Yes? Well, who knows?
Yes.
Yes! 100 and I got it right. Took me 100 times. Woohoo! Yeah. And of course, the ever so I don't even know how to describe Pixie. I don't. I can I'm like, what words can I put in there besides bubbly? Pixie in the house. I think you're down below me this time. I think.
She's below me, I think.
Okay. She's somewhere.
Yeah.
Somewhere over there. We are at episode 100, and as you see, the three of us are here. Holly is off as speaking engagement, repping the brand, and talking to some kids about their edumacation and science, technology, engineering, and math, which is exciting for us. Thank you so much, Holly. Make us proud. And Tiff is off, I don't know, somewhere and doing something, but she'll be back to tell us all about it, I'm pretty sure. So I hear there's some exciting news picks. What's the exciting news?
Yeah. So, Squatting Penguins team has joined the nation and become one of our network partners, which is super awesome. So they're giving us their studio full support and show they care about the community as well as STEM education. We have Steam keys for the MIMS beginning. So you want to stay tuned for upcoming giveaways via Squatting Penguins coming up later in the show. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to talk a little bit about the game. So you get to experience the mysterious and the mystical by taking on a journey with MIMS in this strategic godlike video game. You get to create structures and plant vegetation and breed animals. You get to take care of your minions. Yes, you have minions!
Breed animals? Okay.
Use divine psi powers. Triumph in the face of natural disasters. Fight monsters. Predict the future. And reveal secrets and so much more. So assume the lead over MIMS as they journey across the galaxy in their epic quests. So it's pretty exciting. I'm excited about it. You guys should be excited about it too. And so a little bit more information if you guys are interested and you don't win the giveaway. You can get it for $19.99. There's a 15% discount during the first week of release. And it's going to be available as of the 18th of May. So 5 days. 5 days. 5 days.
5 days. Purple Ronnie says there's an echo from Pixie, so we need to check the sound on Pixie's end.
Echo!
Pixie's got an echo. She's
We just wanted two pixies.
We wanted two Pixies.
Yeah.
Thank you, Purple Ronnie, for that Random's in the house.
Am I actually echoing?
Everybody in the chat, thank you so much for giving us a sound check. We love you all for being so studious of our sound. And I also want to say a big shout out and thank you to Echo on Page as well. All right, hello. If you have your Twitch on, ladies, just mute it. I would love to say thank you and a big shout out to DJ Cywarrior for that awesome dance party we just had. And I know you guys didn't see it, but we were dancing in our seats. And we have a new rule now that if you would like to see the pre-show dancing, that is us hosts, we need to hit our sub goal each week to be able to do the pre-show dancing, and you will get to see the dancing, all right? Sub goal for the week is only 5. You guys can do it. 5 subs, meaning 100% of your Twitch sub dollars go to our scholarship foundation. I mean, come on, guys. It's easy peasy. You're helping out charity, and you get to watch us.
It's tax deductible.
Tax deductible.
Yeah,
All right, so
Ain't nobody want to give them their money.
5 subs
Poor
and Shiv is
IRS.
dancing. That's right. That's right. So everybody in the channel that's already a Lord Legend, we thank you so much for being supportive of our charity. And those of you who have supported for a couple of months on end, which we know that you right now, Random, thank you so much. Thank you so kindly. And those sub perks are down below. Don't forget. Sub perks are down below.
Don't forget we have waffles.
We do have waffles. Hey, Random, throw up your waffle. Show everybody your waffle, man. And then when you're done with that waffle, flip me the bird. You know how I like it. Woo, we got some interesting chats to talk about. Subjects. What do we call them? We call them, well, topics to talk about this evening. And the bacon! You know Shriv loves the bacon.
The bacon.
Freaking MG.
Now all we need is like eggs.
See how much I love the bacon?
I don't know. I'm from New York. I want bagels.
You want some bagels?
Yeah.
Love that bacon. We love the bacon. All right, so we got some topics that are pretty serious tonight we're going to talk about, and we want to give you guys a disclaimer about some of those topics and have a conversation, an adult conversation, about some things. So if you are watching and you do have minor children, we ask you to escort them kindly out of the room and or get your headphones on because this is an adult conversation. As such, you do see down there in the channel, this is an adult rated channel. If you are under the age of 18, we ask you kindly to find another channel for the next 2 hours because sadly, Twitch rules does not allow you to participate in this conversation. However, once we take the adult rating off, which would be Sunday afternoon for Team Bacon, you are more than welcome to come on back and have some fun, all right? But otherwise, skedaddle, kiddos, get out of here. So, first topic, controversial topics. First topic is coming from our own Pixie, and don't let the cuteness fool you.
Okay.
Reese!
So, the first thing I want to say, guys, is there will be no links for this whatsoever. If you want this information, it is out there. You can find it on your own. But I don't want to give this person any more positive or negative attention. Second, we do not, under any circumstance, condone violent actions. We will not be linking or playing any parts of the video for this story. As a media outlet, we like to be responsible, and we'd like to warn you that you may find the video and the audio disturbing if you should seek it out on the internet. And it is. It really is. So, recently, a Twitch user, who I also will not be naming, left his sound on and live streamed him hitting his girlfriend, essentially domestic violence. So the thing is there's a lot surrounding this. The person was drunk. There's debate over how the whole situation started, but the user took off his video and left the audio running. The user is banned from Twitch. That is a positive that came out of this. Now, there are some other things surrounding this. Like, people have speculated that there was the potential for there to have been a sexual assault during this. That is not confirmed. There is no knowledge of this. I have no knowledge of this. No one. This is all internet speculation. So be aware. The only thing that is known for sure is this person hit his girlfriend. You can clearly hear it. You can hear him call her all sorts of derogatory names, a slut, a whore, talking about her genitalia in a negative manner. So the thing is we realize that domestic violence is still a reality in our world. There are cases where appropriate law enforcement should be notified because there is harm to other people, and we should be able to provide them with information that is sufficient to respond to the incident to the extent that we have it. So, when you witness any form of domestic violence via Twitch or live stream, include all social media formats. So go to the National Domestic Violence Hotline. There's a website. There's also a toll-free phone number. And this is not an issue of whether or not people need help. People always need help with situations like this. So don't be apathetic. Don't sit there and think that someone else will report this. It's a huge problem. There are cases where people have been swatted on Twitch. I know we've almost all seen that and heard of it. I personally think that Twitch should have an emergency command for something like this, where Twitch is able to, I don't know, in the case of an emergency, contact law enforcement and give them all of your information so that they can backtrack your IP address or whatever, and find out where you live so that they can come and they can save you from whatever horrible situation. So there are many things surrounding this issue, and there are some really great takeaways. Violence is not okay. And violence is not okay towards anyone. And when I say this, I very, very specifically mean it, because the person in question has actually had people bullying and harassing him. And I'm not saying that what he did isn't horrible, but two wrongs do not ever make a right, and people should not be harassing him. This is an issue that should be dealt with by law enforcement and should be completely out of the hands of the internet. The internet is wonderful for all kinds of things, but it is not wonderful for stuff like this. So instead of finding out who this person is and going on Twitter or Instagram and harassing them, leave it alone. Especially because no one knows this exact situation. For all I know, this could be some kind of giant hoax. I'm not saying that that's not like a possibility. I don't think it's highly likely, but it is always a possibility. So be aware of all of these things. And if you see something, say something. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Powerful.
So we were waiting for you to finish that thought because I didn't want to interrupt. You were on a roll. So there are some key takeaways from this conversation, guys. You know, the reason why we wanted to bring this up is because obviously you are going to be on social media. You are going to be a witness or a party to some things, and some things that make you feel uncomfortable, some things that may go against your grain. And we wanted to be able to be an advocate for you as our community. And we all say we want to be in a safe place here. We're all family at Lord Nation. We want to be able to give you guys some tools in order to make sure that those of you who have family outside of this channel, which is all over Twitch, are able to have the ability to keep your friends and family safe, right? Just because you're watching something or you're viewing a stream doesn't mean you don't have power to help someone. We're not advocating that you put yourself in a dangerous situation by any means, but there are lots of ways to be able to help someone. We also have thrown up some links in the channel, and I'm sure one of the ladies here will throw those back out in a second, to give you the ability to seek out help and authorities that will help in a situation that you feel helpless in. But we also want to give props to Twitch. because Twitch actually took a stand on this situation. And what they've done is revisited some of their rules and regulations on how they handle things, but they also already had things in place which shut down this escalated mess right quick in a hurry. So, Pixie, can you recap as to what Twitch's rebuttal and or actions were for this situation? Because as you guys know, a lot of you said in chat, you didn't hear about this. You knew nothing about it. If it would have been something that would have been handled incorrectly by Twitch, it would have been all over the internet, right? We would have known. So go ahead, Pix.
He's banned. All of the VODs of this situation have been deleted. It is very, very difficult, or at least it was for a while, to find any information about this. It even was deleted off of YouTube a lot. So you can find the videos, but there are a lot of them that have been deleted, and Twitch has banned this user. As far as I know, this user has also deleted a lot of their social media accounts because of the blowback from this.
Oops, sorry guys. Smack my mic. So Paige, we welcome you back with open arms. We're pretty excited that you're here. We know you have a lot to say. And I, for one, can't wait to get into this conversation with you. So go ahead, girlfriend.
This is a really, really powerful topic. Not too many people know this because it never comes up, but I have been in very serious domestic violence situations. Somebody tried to kill my mother. And, luckily, everything ended up being okay in the long run, but it was a very, very excruciating process, the court process, and, the event itself was really traumatic for me because, my mother was actually protecting me. And in a way, it makes it harder for me to be sympathetic to people that are on the violent end. And I try to be, and, I understand, but at the same time, I saw in real time and had to get interviewed by lawyers and put through police stations and, really scary, scary things, especially because I was very young at the time. And I saw in real time how the guy who did this to my mother lied. And I'm not saying I don't know anything about this case. I heard about it through our notes, and I didn't get too into it because it's hard material for me. But I always I still do try to think about it rather, removed. I try not to make it too personal because I know that every situation is different, and I know that people are brought to their tipping points, and I know that people are only human, and it's pretty common, and there's scary things all over the world that happen. There are women who are getting acid thrown at their face. It's domestic violence is a serious reality everywhere on both ends, and there's men's shelters in New York. We actually, in my school, I graduated school recently, we donated to one of them for Christmas, some shelters for whole families, not just women. So, it's definitely a reality for everybody. And it's just something kind of grave, and you feel helpless because, you can't, it's almost something that everybody has to find their way to heal from it and to move on from it. It's definitely a mountain to climb. So, I really hope that they both can come out of this better people. And I don't pray, but I have them, in my thoughts, and sending good vibes and hoping that they can reach the outlets and that the outlets will be presented to them to kind of cope with the trauma, and to have it public must be like even more difficult to cope with, because to imagine the things that you do that you're ashamed of when you're drunk or when you're sober, when you're angry. You could be ashamed of something that you yelled at your kid when you were angry that you don't really mean, and to have that be something that you have to deal with on a public forum. I don't know. I have like a soft spot for people in some regards for that, because I know that as an empathetic person and somebody who cares how other people cope with things, and who thinks that social work is some of the greatest work that you could do, that it must be even more difficult for somebody to put themselves in a situation where they're under a spotlight. So it's hard. I could ramble on and on about it, but ultimately, that's where I'm stuck.
So, Elcott and NDOT, thank you so much for those subs. Thank you for donating to the Scholarship Foundation. Everybody in channel who is a Lord Legend, and those of you who aren't, please throw up your Phoenix, flip the bird to Shriv, and give a what for Elcott and NDOT. Thank you so much for those subs. And I also want to continue the conversation with you, chat. Pixie?
Yeah, chat has brought up some really good points.
So let's use that hashtag. What's that hashtag, Pixie?
The hashtag is Rickroll. It's not effing Rickroll. It's just Rickroll. Please don't put Rickroll in chat, guys.
It is a mature show, Pixie.
It is a mature show.
So it is very, very, very valuable to remember that domestic violence doesn't just happen to women. It also happens to men. Another thing that I found fantastic about this is there's a lot of talk about the group Anonymous on the internet. A lot of it. And nobody knows who Anonymous is. That's kind of the point. But Anonymous has also taken a stand against this and proceeded to hack the person's accounts. Which I find really interesting. While I don't agree with it and I think it is bullying, I, in some cases, find it to be very interesting that people come together in this format and are so enraged by something like this, when people could be very apathetic to it.
Yeah. And I mean,
So
don't
guys,
get me wrong, for every voice that's loud, there's 100 people who are apathetic. I find that silent majority, but it's good that we do have people who, do want to stand up for the people that they feel are being wronged.
so I want to talk about Twitch's rules, regulations, and guidelines, as well as what they've done even before this to advocate for safety on their website and trying to keep everyone safe, whether you're male or female or however you choose to identify. And I think there's some great points that we all can take the lead on. Excuse me. And one of the things that Twitch used to have is the /emergency command. It's not there anymore, but I don't know, and this is one of my questions that I sent over to Twitch, asking them if they feel that they're going to reinstate this command, and if so, how would they monitor whether there are false reports, or are there real reports? Because I think that this actual command may have been the reason why it's gone, is because people were abusing it and not using it for the appropriate context. But also, could there be a Good Samaritan policy, with Twitch? I'm going to let Pixie pick up the ball here, because there's a couple other things that we're going to talk about in regards to Twitch. I sent Twitch over some questions, blank questions, asking how we as a community or we as a channel can support them in policies and mandates, and left the forum open to them to respond, and also invited them to the show to have a frank conversation with us and you, the community, in regards to safety on Twitch, whether you're male, female, or otherwise, and educate us as to their policies and or how they're going to handle these types of situations. Hopefully they don't come up in the future, but if they do, because I want to know, right? You want to know. So go ahead, Pix.
Yeah, I would love to see what they have to say. I know that certain reports are given higher priority. I do also know that there are bots that specifically go to channels and seek out information. I can tell you, after having been viewbotted and hacked, as well as starting to have been doxxed, that there are bots that will come and will sit in your channel and will help monitor for you so that it doesn't happen again, and if it does, it's taken care of very quickly and very easily. So those are things, like I said, if you see it, report it. So there are a couple of other things. I want to know from Twitch if when you make reports, if you make an emergency report, if there's a consequence for it not being an emergency, what happens then? Do they ban your account? Do they, you know, especially in the case of swatting, like, that is legally, that's legally bad. Like, you face criminal charges. What happens on Twitch when you do things like this? Like, what are the online repercussions for these situations?
You know, good questions. We actually, you know, we sent one of those over as well. So, you know, like I said, we will keep you guys posted if they should choose to make a comment. You know, I think that it's okay if they don't. We're not going to flame them on social media or give them a hard time, because I think they took a hard stance on this and they did the right thing for their brand and for us. But I really think that this could be a great dialogue for us as you know, having a conversation. So, 6, I know there's a couple other bullet points we want to hit, so if you want to touch on a couple of those.
Well, hold on one second, I'm sorry.
Thanks,
My notes are all over the place. I'm brand new of Back to the Show, guys. Episode 100 alumni. Give me one moment. I just, in general, with these things, to touch on what Pixie said, I'm positive that there's not a repercussion. I don't know if that's going to be that way forever, but I'm 100% positive that they won't. That they don't suspend you or anything, unless maybe they find that you're doing it often. You know what I mean? Like, if you're constantly reporting things, but these things are supposed to be anonymous, so I don't know how seriously they take that. I'm sure it goes to a different tech and they kind of review it and do things like that. They wouldn't even really know. But
So Twitch has a report button, and that report button is to cover self-harm or harm to others, right? So one of the good questions is, how many people does that indicate? You know, is that me, myself, and I? Is that my friends in my house? Is that the chat? I mean, you know, speculation of definition. Ooh, nice using of that Rickroll hashtag, guys, in chat. Keep the conversation going. If you have questions in chat, please use that Rickroll hashtag so we can get those in there and comment on those.
Wasn't there a situation a while ago where a girl was streaming and someone broke in?
Yep. That was actually...
Goodness. I didn't hear about that.
That was actually... and her chat actually... someone knew her.
Mm-hmm.
Because it was probably one of her mods, called 911. She was being robbed at gunpoint, and that's happened on Twitch. But again, situations can arise, and this is why we're having this conversation. And again, I don't condone, we don't condone, the charity does not condone any type of violence. We're asking you as a community, if you should see something, Pixie's right, you can hashtag it all you want. If you see it, report it. Please go to the appropriate authorities, because this is not something that you can fix, and or you should insert yourself in, especially if it's something that you don't know both sides of the situation, right? This can happen to men just as much as women, same-sex couples, the same. We have, if Pixie, can you throw up the National Domestic Violence Hotline, as well as the website? Those are great resources for you to go and learn and educate yourself as to what's in your area, because that makes a big difference.
I also think if anything ever happens and you need to, I believe that you can call 911 and give them the Twitch customer service number and that they can then pull the IP address for the police. Do not quote me on that, but I believe that that's probably a likely scenario.
I do know that I had to deal with something on Facebook recently, and Facebook just referred me to a bunch of like how to help somebody websites. They didn't have like a way to respond or to say, oh, we're gonna deal with this. It was just kind of like a loop to like these organizations' websites for how to talk to somebody.
Do you think that maybe that is the answer that Facebook? Do you think that I'm sorry, Pixie. Do you think that is the answer that Facebook maybe gave you, and that it could be a possibility that they may or may not have tracked an IP or something like that?
I was trying to like figure out just even what the protocol would be. You know what I mean? Because most of the protocol that was given to me was for somebody that I could reach, and this was not somebody that I could get to.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, I mean, and it's the internet. That's a very likely scenario that you're going to have a friend or somebody in need, and you're not going to be able to go to their house and help them. You know, so I hope that there's more to it that isn't going to punish the person. You know what I mean? Like, like I know that if you report somebody for a suicide, and you know where they live, they're going to get picked up by an ambulance and they're going to foot the bill. You know, like I know that that's
yeah, that's true.
There's like a little bit of a double-edged sword there, where if you do nothing, you could be blamed. If they come to you, you can get even prosecuted, and then if you do something, you can end up putting them into a lot of strain.
Financial. Yeah. Go ahead, Pigs.
Yeah.
So we're having some pretty good questions come in. So this question comes from Tomato. Hashtag Rickworld, do you believe in handling domestic issues personally instead of using the authorities? I think that, to be honest, that depends. I think if the situation is like two people yelling at each other, in a lot of cases, yeah, you can handle those situations privately without involving the authorities. However, I have had people get physical with me, and I have called the police. If you put your hands on me in a way that I do not believe is okay, I will call the cops on you. In every situation, every time. Because I believe that's what they're there for. I believe, and maybe this is idealistic in some cases, but I believe that the police are here to protect and serve. And if I need them, I should damn well be able to call them. And they should be able to handle these issues for me. I'm not above being like, hey, I just don't want my ass beat.
So,
I want to go to jail.
With that being said, the moral to this story is keep your hands to yourself, as your mama told you, and Shriv tells you. If you see it, report it. Don't put yourself in harm's way. And as for our Twitch family, there are lots of ways that Twitch has provided ways you can help someone if you feel they are in a situation that they're in trouble. If you need more than what Twitch can provide, there are plenty of internet links and places to call and support groups that will help you. If you should choose to insert yourself in a situation that you feel is shady or dangerous, remember there are repercussions to your actions. We hope you don't do that. We're not advocating for that. But in this case, Twitch, we're giving you the 2 thumbs up. Thank you so much for doing your due diligence and shutting this down. We're going to move on to my topic, right? My topic. I'm going to throw out a tweet here. My tweet says, are you ready? What do Funcom, Insomniac Games, and
the real Cliffy B.
Yeah, the real Cliffy B have in common? Well, hashtag bathroom law. Yep, I said it. I said toilet. I did. So we're talking about North Carolina's Bill 2, aka the bathroom bill. If you don't know what that is, I'm going to let Paige have a 2 minutes fill you in conversation. 3. Okay, all right, 3. On the bathroom bill, all right? It's not going to be long drawn out. It's going to be just enough for you to understand what we're talking about. So those of you who already know what's going on, go right over to our Twitter page and retweet that tweet I just put out, guys.
Oh boy. Well, it's funny because just this morning I had a screaming match across the street with a neighbor who I have never spoken to before over this bill because she was kicking people out of her house yelling about it. And I used to work for a city job here in New York City. And part of our orientation in New York City was that we had to understand that anybody in these public bathrooms could identify as whatever gender and use their bathroom that they felt comfortable using. This was orientation years ago, had to have been close to a decade at this point. And it was never much of an issue. So, being that I have a lot of transgender friends and family, and that I simply do not equate transgender people to any sort of predator, I have a real issue with this law because we have, in Oklahoma.
So tell me what the law consists of, the bill. So for those people who are not familiar with the bill.
Okay. The bill says that you need to use the bathroom that matches the gender assigned to you on your birth certificate. So that could mean that you are a post-op transgender. That could mean that you are completely passable as another gender. And that you would have to use the bathroom of your assigned gender to prevent people from saying that they identify as somebody under the ruse of going in to sexually assault people.
Yes, Purple Ronnie. We said wow too. Mm-hmm. That's exactly the reaction we had. Wow.
The thing that I have the most problem with is that in Oklahoma, it just became legal to, have oral sex with somebody who's passed out drunk. And most sexual offenders go to jail for 5 years and leave after 3 for good behavior and end up on probation. And we do very little to enhance and to toughen up on the laws against sexual predators and sexual offenders. But we're going to put a wide umbrella over a group of people and say that you can go to jail or you can get in trouble for using a bathroom even if you do not offend anybody or you do not cross any line.
So let's go into how this ties into our gaming topic and our gaming talk show, because this is very interesting to me. So as my tweet said, what do these gaming studios and Cliffy B have in common? Well, 3 North Carolina gaming companies made an official response in regards to this bill, this bathroom law. I'm going to throw up a link here specifically to, oops, as soon as I not edit what I did, Kotaku, I just ripped it out and threw it away.
I saw that.
I was like, oops, sorry. It's interesting. It's very interesting. So Cliffy B, if no one knows who Cliff is, basically he's the lead creator for Gears of War. He actually posted a link on his Twitter, and or a picture on his Twitter, an image. I'm gonna give you the link that called out Pat McGorry and said, "Gender-neutral bathrooms in our new game." It takes place in the future, unlike, well, the present, right? And that is so interesting to me. That is so interesting to me. And thank you, Cliffy B, for being not necessarily rude or obnoxious about your political views.
That dude don't shoot the shit.
He doesn't. He doesn't. He could have been worse, right? He was kind of lame. I shouldn't say lame. He was kind of tame with this one, and I was very intrigued by the fact that he was just like, "I'll put it out there through my art," right? That's very interesting. I found that very interesting. I'm gonna let Paige comment on Cliffy B. Then we'll move over to the next studio, if you will. Did you see the image?
Yeah.
Okay.
I love Cliffy B. I always have. I've loved him for years. He's probably one of my favorite game developers, and he's just, I don't know. I love Gears of War too, so this guy's just like the bee's knees to me. But he's always very politically vocal. Um, like, and in a way that isn't even button pushing all the time. He just kind of has a really nice neutral way of presenting things when he when he aims to do that. And I think that what makes him kind of powerful is that even though he's made this very dude bro kind of a franchise, you know, it's becoming something that you could see change with the times. And I think that if you follow Cliffy B, you've almost see him change with the times. So that's really cool, and I'm not surprised to see that he takes a stand, but I think that he is doing it in the most constructive way possible.
What do you think, Pix? We're talking about Cliffy B's tweet.
So we had someone on the show recently who made a video game about violence with police officers, and that social issue.
Evie?
And Evie was fantastic. And I mentioned, I was wondering if, essentially video games were our next medium for speaking out against certain things. And I think it's absolutely true. And I love to see it because video games are such a huge, integral part of our lives now. And I think it's fantastic to see. Bravo to Cliffy B, and bravo to every other company who's doing this, because we play these games, and we are not the only people who play these games. There are people who are far less accepting and understanding who play these games, and it can help give them perspective. And I think it's fantastic.
So let's talk about Insomniac Games. And if you guys are not familiar or it doesn't ring a bell, Insomniac Games is the maker of Ratchet and Clank. I mean, I'm going to throw out the Twitter here. If those of you who are too young to remember Ratchet, it's back out.
Yeah, I was gonna say, that never really went away, did it?
It's back out. It relaunched. So Ratchet and Clank and Insomniacs put out a tweet that said they passionately believe in celebrating diversity and defending non-discrimination. The company strongly condemns that bathroom bill. Their policy is to continue to let employees use whatever the hell bathroom they identify, right? So if you feel like you want to go into the men's restroom because that's what you're identifying, then you go in there. Vice versa, right? So I'm really happy with that statement. I don't know about you guys, but they're like, all right, it's work. We're not going to be the bathroom police. You're going to go in and do your business and go back out, right? There's never been an incident, so go potty and go back out, right? So, all right, Pix, you're up. What about in that comment from Insomniac Games?
The whole thing to me is just stupid. Like, I'm sorry, but I go to the bathroom to go to the bathroom. I don't go to the bathroom to, spy on people or, get an upstart. I go to the bathroom because I have to go to the bathroom. And the whole idea that this is even an issue of, people being predatory is ridiculous. It discriminates against transsexuals because transsexuals are predators. Except for they're not. A predator is a predator!
Exactly.
For me, I love to see people taking a stand against this in such a huge way. And I think that it's really important that companies in particular take a stand against this in such a huge way. Because ultimately, they pay large amounts of taxes, especially in the video game industry. So let's be real. If you're not happy with something, the best way to say it is to, make it very clear. Speak with your wallet. Speak with your actions.
So, what do you think, Paige?
I think we're all on the same page here, pun intended. We had a transgender host. I can't imagine that. Having to defend my friend who I want to come to the bathroom with me to help make sure that my skirt's not in my underwear when I walk out the door.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like it's just kind of, and in New York City, I have been in open changing rooms with transgender people. I'm in hair, so I see plenty of transgender people, and I've seen the backlash that happens to them, and a lot of it has been disintegrating, and then all of a sudden this happens, and it's like, what's the big deal right now? It's a non-issue. There hasn't been any reported instances of this happening. A truly transgender person is more than likely on hormones that are going to make their organs maybe not even functional.
I vote that Barbie and Ken are gender neutral because they don't have parts.
Barbie has some parts.
Does that have nipples? Barbie doesn't have nipples. She doesn't have a vagina. She doesn't even have a belly button. Barbie?
Oh my god.
Barbie's not a woman. Ken's not a man.
Yeah, they're not
Guys,
even
I want you to remember the conversation that we're having is these 3 studios are based out of North Carolina. So they are directly
that's a big
affected
deal.
by this law, right? And remember, a business has the right to govern themselves per se, but this is
Yeah.
pretty big, right? For someone to tell you as a business owner what you can do with your employees. Now, not only what you can do with them, but how they can do it, in which bathroom they can do it in. I mean, come on, that's a little ridiculous. So we're moving on to Funcom, which has also decided, F it. You know what? We are, quite frankly, we think this legislation is ridiculous, they say. Ridiculous. And they are going to, again, let their employees go wherever the hell they need to go, as long as it's not on the floor, right? But I couldn't imagine having however many employees at my studio where I make magic for lots of people every day, right? These games are important to lots of us. They are an escape for us. They are how we enjoy our I don't want to call it a hobby because for me it's a lifestyle. I don't know about you, but our lifestyle, our hobby. We if you're playing an MMO, you want content. These people are creating, and now they got to worry about where they're going to go take a deuce. I mean, give me a break. If someone's going to say, report me to HR because I went into the women's bathroom and I gender identify as a woman, I'm going to get in trouble. I'm going to get fired because I went to the toilet. Or if someone's got a vendetta against me and I went to the men's restroom, I think that's a major problem. It's going to cause issues amongst employees because some people, maybe they kept their mouth shut all this time and they never said anything about just being discriminatory against someone. And now this gives them the opportunity to be a bigot. I just think there's just all kinds of issues that are being raised, let alone the conversations that are probably being had behind someone's back because now they got to go to a different bathroom and you never knew, right? That's another thing that's really important is you probably have been spending a lot of your time with someone who is transgender and you just never knew. But now I got to get busted because somebody in office.
If you have such an issue with this, why don't you have a very specific gender-neutral bathroom?
Why don't you just have a family restroom?
I mean, even in Target, they already have a family restroom that you can walk.
Why is this? Why are these not?
But the thing is, as a business owner, why do I have to pay money to put a whole nother restroom in my building, pay for the plumbing, pay for the knocking out the wall, whatever I need to do, because...
But Target, who started all this, already had that.
Oh, I agree. Target
You know
already
what I
had
mean?
that.
Like most places have a family bathroom. Movie theaters,
malls, yeah. I
think that...
Yeah.
You guys in chat, don't forget to use that Rickroll.
And I've seen way worse behavior. Like I've seen bad behavior from small children. I can't tell you how many little boys have been in the bathroom with their mother and peeped underneath the stall.
Oh yeah.
That happens all the time. I'm more concerned about little kids doing that and me being like, oh God, what do I do?
Oh, you know
so
what? You
Paige,
before too.
Can you remind people what the hashtag is for and why they should be using it? Because I see questions down there in chat, but
Hashtag Rickroll if you want to ask any questions, especially to me, because I might not even be here next week.
Get them in, guys. Get them in. So if you want to ask a question, please use that hashtag Rickroll so we can make sure we get your question. And those of you who live in North Carolina, we want to hear from you. Do you live in the area? Is it affecting your job? Will it affect your job? Game studio or not? I think
But with upskirts, right? There was a ruling, I don't remember off the top of my head, and I don't want to mess with my phone because it keeps on shutting down my documents, where it was ruled legal to put a camera on stairs to get upskirt videos and to share those upskirts as long as the girl was not nude. As long as she had underwear on.
Was that North Carolina? In the South?
You know what? I wouldn't be surprised if it was North Carolina, I'm not gonna lie. But, yeah. Because their thing was that it wasn't an invasion of privacy because it was visible to the public.
So, it is completely legal in Texas.
It's Texas. Okay,
It's not illegal in most of America. It was actually only made illegal in Massachusetts November 2nd, 2015.
Yeah, this has been a huge issue. So this is what I mean by we're not cracking down on actual sexual offenders. We're not protecting the privacy of our wives and our daughters. We're not protecting our young boys and our sons and our fathers and our elderly. We're using it as a mask to discriminate against people who are already largely discriminated against and misunderstood. I mean, I'm not kidding when I say I do not go a day on my Facebook feed where I don't see an article about why transgenderism is a mental disorder. I'm not kidding. You know, I see it all the time. Or the other day, Fox News ran an article saying that Kate Jenner regretted her surgery based on rumors. It read like an Enquirer article. It was terrible. And they should have never ran it.
Oh, right.
But, no confirmation.
Conservative news channel.
I mean, not for anything. Like, they couldn't even have reached out for a comment and said nobody commented.
That's called journalistic ethics.
I get a lot of shit from people, and I'm not okay with that. As somebody who has boobs, I get discriminated against, and I'm not okay with that. So if I don't like it, they damn sure don't. And I'm gonna say something, because it sucks just as bad for them as it does for me.
So I'm throwing the question back at chat. For those of you who are listening to the sound of my voice, I want to know, what would you do? So type
100% straight orientation. I get a lot of shit from people, and I'm not okay with that. As somebody who has boobs, I get discriminated against, and I'm not okay with that. So if I don't like it, they damn sure don't. And I'm gonna say something, because it sucks just as bad for them as it does for me.
So I'm throwing the question back at chat. For those of you who are listening to the sound of my voice, I want to know, what would you do? So type, what would you do? Would you speak up? Or would you mind your business while Paige is answering her this question? What would you do, guys?
Oh, I was fighting with an old woman that I've never spoken to this morning that lives next door to me. Because it's just...
Now, let me make it clear, you weren't physically fighting with her, you were having...
No, I was yelling at her. I mean, look, you know me, I'm yelling at everybody. But, I wasn't, being Italian and talking loud to her like I am right now. I was, literally yelling at this woman. It was 9 o'clock, 8:30, 9 o'clock in the morning, and I'm trying to, get some morning time to myself, and I have this woman kicking 2 guys out of her house talking about how disgusting it is and how Obama is going to have the girls get assaulted. And, it was insane. And I turned to her, and I was like, it has been legal. It's been legal. It hasn't been a problem. You didn't even know about it. Maybe ignorance is bliss. I don't know, Carmen.
So utterly random says, honestly, he doesn't know what he would do. Because
one case where I don't think I would is if it were men.
Interesting. We'll come back to that. So
you would fight a man, or if it was a man trying to go into a woman's bathroom?
If it were an issue with men.
We'll come back to that so we can clarify. But let me just go to Random says he's not sure what he would do, and I think that is a fair, honest answer, because sometimes you get into yourself into a situation where you're like, did I hear, or am I seeing exactly what I think I'm seeing? And I don't know about you, but there are times where I come across discrimination. I am a biracial person. I am my father is Afro American, my mother is white, so a lot of my family is very mixed in complexion, and you would never know to look at me. But there are times where I'm out with family or friends or some other people that people make comments and they don't know me, and words come out of their mouth that are very offensive, and I have to stop myself because I'm like, did I just hear what I think I just heard? And I don't want to get ignorant, but sometimes you might have to just slap a bitch. I'm just saying. But you have to take a step back because you're not sure
violence.
What's going on. We don't condemn violence. You're right. We sure don't. Don't reach out and tag somebody because it won't end well. But thanks for that. Pull me back, Paige. Pull me back. And I don't know what I would do. I don't know what I do. If I'm with my child and someone is being harassed, and I really had to think about what Random said. If I'm at a Target and I'm getting ready to go into the restroom, I'm getting ready to make a decision. I'm going into the ladies with my daughter, and I see someone following another person into the ladies' room, and they happen to be gender identified as a young woman, and they're being harassed because the person decides that they're not woman enough to be in that restroom. I don't know if I would say something or not because my daughter's standing there, but I do want her to understand you just can't harass somebody. You can't just run up on somebody like that. You don't know what's in their pants. You're not going to make them drop their drawers. So it is a very honest answer, Random. I appreciate that. I think I would have a conundrum right there. I mean, what are they going to do? Make somebody pull their skirt up? I mean, who made you the bathroom police, by the way? It's another question I probably would have to ask. And then I would flip out my phone, put them on video, and then see how far they run.
Well, like, what's the big deal? Everybody poops.
Yeah.
Except me. I don't do that. I'm an alien.
And it is a thing that people get assaulted in bathrooms.
They do.
It's not, anytime that I've ever heard of that, it wasn't somebody pretending to be transgender. It was somebody who knew that a girl was alone in a bathroom, and they followed her in. If anything, I've been conditioned since I was a child to never go to the bathroom alone. And that's definitely something with girls too.
Anyway,
I was told to never go alone in a public bathroom. It's not something like you're in school. You know what I mean? And you're not assuming that you're gonna be.
Pixie doesn't poo.
I don't.
Then you need to have a medical emergency any moment because.
I'm an alien in a human suit. It's okay.
Oh,
I'm not a real.
All right. Anyway, those of you in chat, I don't see you answering the question. What would you do, right? What would you do? And especially if you're a guy. If you're a guy and some woman walks up to you and decides she's going to tell you about yourself and what bathroom you should go in. Because I know, and don't get me wrong, I have no issues with a male or a female, but most of the time when you see things like this on on the news, it's a guy running up on a woman trying to tell her where she's got to pee. I have not yet to see the other situation.
I think that is the situation that I would be uncomfortable saying anything in. For instance, if you are female to male and you are pre-op and you are still visibly look like a woman and you try to use the male bathroom and a man is not okay with it, I would be uncomfortable speaking up in that situation because I would fear for my safety.
But I don't think that's what's going on. I really don't think that's a situation because that would be a lot more visible.
I think it's everyone's paranoia that I think it's everyone's paranoia that women are 100% targets of rape all the time, no matter what we do and where we are. And it's a situation that has been ingrained into us from birth. Something that, I don't agree with, because when you see violence towards women, we talked about it with the con badges a couple of shows ago.
Right.
For City Con. my immediate thought was, why does everyone immediately think that this is a depiction of sexual assault? And I think that's a huge thing that we need to think about as a society as a whole.
So I think this is a great conversation, you guys. I think that everyone, or majority everyone in this chat is on the same page. We think the bathroom bill is trash. It needs to be. We need to wipe our ass with that bathroom bill. That's what needs to happen. So everybody, if you would please share and show some support for these studios that are making these stand for us, and on our behalf of our community. I've tweeted out their Twitter, and you can check them out and give Cliffy B some love. You know, Insomniac Games, we appreciate you. Funcom, we appreciate you. And Cliffy B, well, keep doing what you do, dude, because, you know, you're rocking it. I think it's important to note that it is a big deal for these studios to make these kind of statements, because we've seen studios make statements that are not as political minded and have been just flame for less, right? Flame for less. So this is important. This is a very important step in our community, in our industry, and in our country, because this is a legal bill. I mean, it just makes me kind of nauseated. But we'll move on. We'll move on to something great, you guys. Something fun. Something you've been waiting for all this time. Page 6 has come from far and wide across the land, and hit the nation to share with us. Say what, Paige? What are you sharing?
I'm going to talk about not necessarily just this, but the kind of marketing techniques behind it with the new Ghostbusters reboot. There's a lot of controversy about it, and I was almost caught off guard by the controversy because I was very focused on school in the past year, and especially like the last couple of months when I was finishing up. So I kind of came out of it and I wasn't too caught up with everything. I hadn't been on the up and up with how everybody felt about everything. And I found this meme that said, this movie is for, you know, little girls too, and I thought that that was cute, and I shared it, and there was this huge blowback from my friends who are huge Ghostbusters fans, understandably. We all grew up there. So the modern version of Ghostbusters will star Leslie Jones, Kristen Wiig, Melissa McCarthy, and other big news is that the film will debut on July 22nd, 2016. This is the date that is also the current stopping ground for the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. Woo! And Knights of the Round Table, King Arthur. It's possible that one of these two movies will make way for the others to flee for safer waters. You know, it's likely.
You're like, likely.
And while many are getting excited about the reboot of their favorite supernatural comedy classic, others think it will be created just for marketing purposes. And they also believe that the reboots are all about marketing, then creating a movie and spin-off of an old favorite that girls will surely love. So this is huge. It has the highest number of dislikes on YouTube. And there's a lot of controversy behind it. Even Melissa McCarthy came out and said that the trailer wasn't a very good depiction of what the movie was about. And do you want to all touch upon it and let me go into how I feel about it, or do you want me to kind of say how I
think you should touch upon it and your point specifically.
Yeah.
And then we're going to ask the chat, you know, their feelings, if they feel the same. And then we'll go around the table as per usual.
Oh, naturally, I grew up with Ghostbusters. I loved Ghostbusters. I had it on VHS as a kid, and I watched it all the time. I thought it was a scary movie in my 4-year-old brain. You know, I thought I was being brave watching Ghostbusters. And I am kind of a convert to this new kind of marketing technique. Because especially if you guys watch some of the older episodes that I was in, things like the rebranding of Batgirl really annoyed me. I really do not like the Harley Quinn comics. I was a little offended at female Thor.
A little offended.
You know, Yeah. And Batgirl, what annoyed me most about Batgirl was that people were saying, "Oh, great, now her costume's not sexist anymore," and I was like, "Well, that means that you really weren't reading Batgirl because it never was to begin with." But what I realized is that
Oh, Gem and the holograms. Oh, tomatoes.
these marketing techniques did, in fact, bring in a formidable female audience. And even though I don't read them, as a girl who pretty much likes a lot of the classic comics and classic games, even though these things aren't always targeted to me or work for me, I am noticing that I am surrounded by a lot more girls. And a lot more girls are coming to my comic shop and pre-ordering this Batgirl comic, and they read Ms. Marvel, and they read Thor, and they're really, really engaged. And that's kind of awesome, even if it's not necessarily for me. So I don't hate that technique anymore as much as I used to, because I think it achieves its goal in a lot of ways, and I think that it will mature and it will tighten and it will get more polish, and you're going to be able to see more evolved medium that we can all enjoy, or at least a lot more variety, which is ultimately, what I always kind of wanted anyway. May not have been exactly what I had in mind, but like ultimately the goal is to have, as many comics or as many games as you have a genre of movie. Make it mainstream, make it cool, make it something that everybody can enjoy at all ages. So that's kind of how I go about Ghostbusters. I haven't seen the movie yet. I hated Spy and I loved Bridesmaids, so who knows how I'll feel about it. I'm going to try to go into it with an open mind. But yeah. Who am I bringing it around to, Pixie? Or Carmen?
So the chat is slightly confused about which technique you're talking about as far as the marketing is concerned. So could you clarify just a little bit?
About when you're taking a genre of something, when you're taking an IP, and often an already very well established IP, and you are saying, this is for girls. And you're saying, this is women, this is for girls. This is to bring in a female audience, and they kind of smack you over the head with it. To me, that annoyed me. But the numbers have spoken, and obviously it works to a pretty good degree.
Frozen.
It did with Batgirl. It certainly did in comics. Batgirl is huge. Harley Quinn is huge. Harley Quinn went from a monthly comic to a bi-weekly comic.
Harley's always been huge, though.
But Harley's comics used to be terrible. They were like children's comics. Girl comics used to be pretty much akin to...
Girl comics didn't have a storyline. They didn't have a
Preludes and Knock Knock Jokes was terrible. Girls didn't love Preludes and Knock Knock Jokes, but girls loved Palmiotti's Harley Quinn and Connor's Harley Quinn.
Those are good versions.
I don't agree. I don't really like them myself, but people do.
We can debate that later. But go Pix, go.
Okay, so I think the idea of this isn't bad in theory. The problem is in reality it very often is not the case. What happens is you go, oh, we need to have women in this to market it for women, but fuck the content. It's essentially what happened with female Thor. Like millions of people, and by millions I mean like 15 in total, have picked up Thor's hammer. None of them have ever become Thor. They have only ever possessed the power of Thor. They do not become Thor. Creating a female Thor is essentially creating new IP, except for it's awful. It is literally awful. I would actually pay money to scratch my eyes out before reading it.
Yeah, I don't like
not
it
even
either.
kidding. Like, it's awful. It's terrible.
Yeah.
And the problem is that's a lot of this content. And I think it's important that we have, good, strong female characters, and that we have good, strong female influences in mainstream media. The problem is I don't think you do it by going, oh, well, no one gives a shit about the content. All they care about is the fact that there are women in it. No.
Well, the thing is, I haven't seen the content yet. You know what I mean? That's why I'm saying I'm talking about the marketing technique because if I don't like the movie, I will gladly tell people I don't like the movie. I don't like female Thor. I have no problem saying when I don't like something and believe me, like, I wanted to like Harley Quinn. You know what I mean? Like, look at my hair. I wanted to like Harley.
I've always liked Harley.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, it has a charm. It has a charm to it. You know what I mean? It has a charm to it, but it's almost like, I don't know. It's not my thing. You know what I mean? Like, and I've said that about plenty of Batman writers too. You know, like sometimes it's just not my thing. I'm
So
more
guys,
of a Batman Venom kind of a girl.
I'm gonna
you know?
interject here
Yeah, because we've gone on to comments.
and throw
Yeah.
out a movie that I did not necessarily want to go see,
Mm.
but I felt that I needed to go see because it had female leads. I was like,
Yeah.
I gotta go watch it. And they did. They threw that marketing hook, line, and sinker out at me. And I normally don't bite for that stuff, but I was like, I gotta go see this movie. I gotta go see what it's all about. I'm talking about Lollipop Chainsaw. Remember that?
I love
I mean,
Lollipop Chainsaw.
It wasn't great. Gonna tell you, it wasn't an awesome movie.
Oh, that was a movie.
It was a movie.
You know what was?
What?
There's some Booberella. Oh my god. I'm so
What
sorry.
did you just say? What?
I
What?
I have a character in Diablo that's a take on Barbarella.
Oh, Barbarella. I'm like,
Barbarian. I called her Booberella the Boobarian.
that was wrong.
I'm so sorry. That was like a real slip there. I'm saying that now. But like Barbarella, fantastic movie. Sucker Punch. Fantastic.
Sucker Punch. That's what I meant. I don't know why I got Lollipop. Because I associate Lollipop Chainsaw with Sucker Punch. That's what I meant with Sucker Punch.
No, I didn't miss the Lollipop
No,
Chainsaw.
I'm sorry, guys. I take it back. It was Sucker Punch. I keep associating the two because they look similar to me. But Sucker Punch, they just marketed that crap, the hell out of it for women. And it was such a horrible movie, but I had to go see it. I had to go see it.
I loved it.
Yeah, I
You
didn't
would
like it.
love
I think it is like the most brilliantly fucked up thing I've ever seen in my life.
Sucker Punch is in
I'll watch
DJ
it again
Size
to
top
see what-
5.
to see if I agree
But you
with
guys, you have to admit that it was marketed the right way. It really was.
Even Melissa McCarthy kind of disagrees there. And with the
With
trailer
Sucker Punch?
reminds
I'm talking
me-
about Sucker
Oh no,
Punch.
no, I'm sorry, I'm talking about Ghostbusters.
I'm talking about Sucker Punch.
I mean,
It was
it's
marketed the
not-
right
No,
way.
market-
It
yeah,
slid right in there.
All of those
brilliantly.
It deserves every last one of those thumbs down. I'm just
Now,
saying.
when you talk about
Oh,
Ghostbusters, Ghostbusters is my generation.
Hmm.
That movie was, a thing. It was primarily male focused when it originally came out. It was pretty epic. There was a lot of slapstick. There was a lot of laughs. There was, a little bit of scary stuff. It was a family movie for everybody. Everyone could go see that, right? Then,
It was
fast
subtle.
forward to 2016, we're getting a reboot, and we're putting in a bunch of female leads. They're really, to me, is a slap in the face. Because I feel like they're jumping on a bandwagon of throwing in women to see if they can make a dollar bill, which I'm okay with that because everybody needs to make a buck, right? It's a company. But I'm also feeling like this is a crucial time in our society where, I'm sorry, beating up this microphone, where we could be making a way better choice to encourage and inspire young women like Lego did and made the scientist kit, the Lego kit. But in this way, I wonder if the actresses in the movie felt that they were doing something for the greater good. That's a question that I have. The Kristen Wiig and Melissa McCarthy think this is going to be awesome for young girls. This is going to be great. We're going to be, such a role model. It's science because they are scientists. Or is this going to be a way, is this going to be left of center? People are going to be really offended. Do you think they thought about that before they took this role?
You know what I think? What it spoke to me about? Have either of you guys watched "Women Aren't Funny," the documentary?
I have.
A lot of these women who are in comedy, now there's a lot of talk about combating that stereotype that women can't headline or women aren't funny. And now you almost can't go to a show without at least a woman being on the stage. But, I almost felt like that was like a crass kind of backlash to that stereotype. Like, oh yeah, we're not funny, we'll give you something terrible. They finally released that trailer. And I kind of like thought it was ironic, like funny in an ironic way when I saw it. But I could see why people don't like it. And I could see why even the actors are coming back and saying, look, this doesn't really represent what we're putting out. So I'll let the movie speak for itself when it comes.
Does this, you guys, bleed over into our culture and into our community and industry for gaming? Do you think this same method of marketing is happening now with our games? Like Paige said, an IP, a very popular IP that doesn't need a fix, doesn't need, retweaking, all of a sudden gets a female lead, female protagonist. Go ahead.
They did it very well, not creating a new lead, but by the reimagining of Lara Croft. Look at how fantastic the Tomb Raider games are, and they turned it around and made it Lara as a survivor.
Yeah.
They turned it around and said, you're going to respect who she was in the beginning because now you're going to see what she came from. And they did reimagine her in a crazy way, She looked totally different. She was, she's always going to be beautiful, but, they really captured a different kind of beauty in this new kind of Lara Croft. And they really focused on making some great, very adult story. So, I think that in terms of games, I don't know what the female numbers are as far as the female consumers of that game, but I think that that's a great, not off the top of my head, I actually have looked that up before. But
guys, don't forget to use that hashtag Rickroll if you want to ask some questions. I see things coming up in chat, and you got to hit that hashtag for us to be able to respond. And I think you're right, Paige. For me, it has to be not only the game, but it has to be the storyline. And I actually own all the Tomb Raider, especially the new ones, because it's such a drastic different gameplay and the storyline than the previous ones. Go ahead, Biggs.
Yeah, but can you think of another one that's that way?
Where the girls are reimagined, that are females and reimagined away. I think that games are still kind of behind. Don't get me wrong, like that's why I brought up a lot of comic book examples.
I think what it is I think video game creators care more about the content than they care about who's in their game, to be honest.
Well, no, look at BioShock. Look at BioShock Infinite.
BioShock is amazing content. Who cares?
No, I know. Well, the thing is, people really do care about Elizabeth, and part of that story is your care for Elizabeth.
Yes.
That's
not.
Well, I'm not saying that it's because she's a female.
Yeah, it's.
But I am saying that she's a great example. I'm saying that she's a great role model. I'm saying that she happens to be a very empowered, especially by the end, very empowered female character.
If you look at what we're talking about, it's how many people have been taken from a video game and reimagined in a new video game or the same video game as different sets. And that just doesn't happen in video games because it's not necessary.
I do think that it does happen in video games, but it's not as prevalent in AAA. Indies, it happens all the time. Indies, it does happen quite a bit because indie studios, or I shouldn't say taken from a game and made a male to female, but I think that indies have inserted always and most of the time a female in there to play versus just having one male character to select from.
I agree with
versus coming out with a game there's a male and then another 3 or 4 DLCs later you finally get a female character. So
and then it's in video games too, you're more likely to get a spiritual successor than trying to reboot a series. You know what I mean? Video games have unlike comics and movies, video games have a very strong history. Right now it's still very young.
Right. MT Gamer has a great point.
Maintaining that lore and allowing that game to stand by its own, which is why even with Tomb Raider, you could say that Nathan Drake is a reimagining of Tomb Raider and a gender swap. I've heard that argument 100,000 times.
100 times, yeah.
But the idea that people can enjoy something within its time in video games and still see a reimagining as a spiritual successor, I don't think that that's something that we're losing. I think that's something that's being compounded upon and explored.
I think it's being explored, but I don't think it's explored in the shitty way that the movie industry is exploring
Agreed.
it.
I would agree with that.
The movie industry is also
in
like
the way that the comic
much older.
is now exploring it.
Guys, I want you to take a look at MT
Content
Gamer's
comments.
comment in chat. Paige, if you could read that. Can you see it? I'm sorry.
Which one? I'm sorry.
I will link it to
Did
you.
anyone know
There you
that
go. Thanks, Pixie.
Metroid was a female the first time they played it? I didn't.
Which one?
Metroid.
Metroid. Well, yeah, at the time that I played it the first time, I knew that it was going to be a female. But I was already,
Older. Yeah.
Like, I was like probably 11.
So back in the day, there was so many people that were just in shock that did played that game or finished it, played a playthrough, and then was like, "Oh, blow my mind." And still to this day, people are tell that story. Excuse me, guys. People tell that story if you're of my generation and you played that game. That
I just thought of
changed
the best example.
Go ahead.
I just thought of the best example, and it always goes right over my head. But Miss Pac-Man. Miss Pac-Man is a better selling game than Pac-Man.
It is.
And
it is
part
true.
of that appeal was that the arcade culture did cater to girls and guys. They definitely went for male and female audiences. That's why, like, my mom's generation all played games, but they didn't have that, like, my mother didn't even imagine that kind of stigma. You know what I mean? Like, until she saw, like, girls in bikinis and advertisements trying to sell a Nintendo. Like that definitely was one of the games that I think gets brought up all the time. They reimagined it, put a bow on its head, and made a love story, and it ended up being a smashing success.
And I remember being of the arcade age and wanting to play Miss Pac-Man because it was Miss Pac-Man. Not because it was another arcade, not because it was a different game, but it was Miss Pac-Man. So I wanted to play. Oh, thank you for that follow.
Okay, so I'm sorry, but this greatly amuses me and it makes me happy. And
please share with the class.
Part of my soul. So this is part of a conversation between an Even Weirder Move and Dumb Gump, and an Even Weirder Move says, "I don't really think Anita Sarkeesian gets to be relevant to any discussion of gender in nerdy media."
Okay.
Now, that's only a portion of it, but that portion makes my heart happy.
Well, you all are entitled to your opinion. And I'm sure we all understand that Anita's entitled to her opinion. But as we always say at this show about Anita Sarkeesian, she is welcome to take a seat at the table. Welcome to express her views and her opinions at our table. However, she does not speak for every woman in the industry, every gamer that identifies as a female.
Yeah, because I just don't agree with anything.
So, we are almost done with the show, and I'm gonna let you guys know that we do have giveaways tonight. Excuse me. I apologize. Sure, it's had a long week. We do have giveaways, and one of our giveaways for this evening is coming to you from our newest network partner. Who is that, Pixie?
It was... That's the worst drum roll I've ever heard.
I have a drum roll. I have a drum roll. Wait, let me go get it while you're figuring out who it is.
Do it!
Wait, I gotta find it. I gotta find it. There it is. There you go.
Spotting penguins!
Spotting penguins. Throw up their tweeter. While you're in there. Spotting Penguins has given us keys to MIMS. MIMS, what is it? While I'm lying. Oh, so sorry guys, I am yawning. I apologize. That is MIMS Beginning. MIMS Beginnings, it looks pretty interesting. The graphics look great to me. I am not one to play a game that has a lot of sandbox and moving, farming, all that kind of stuff, but I know that there's a couple games out there that people have been playing and streaming the hell out of. Has to do with fishing and all that I don't even know. What is that new game that just came out and people are playing the crap out of it and I can't get away from it on Twitch?
Are you talking about Stardew Valley?
Stardew Valley, that's exactly what it
God,
is.
I can't play that game.
I can't play that game, but I know you guys like it. And this is kind of like Stardew Valley, but with way better graphics. So, that being said, if you have not smashed that follow button, you need to do it now because I will be doing this giveaway shortly. And I mean rather shortly.
I don't mind farming. I'll farm in Diablo, I'll farm in WoW, I'll farm in League.
Yeah, Stardew
I will
Valley.
go straight rice patty.
Rice patty.
But like, I am not about Stardew Valley.
Oh my gosh, sorry about the coughing, guys. So,
I like farming in games. I find it almost.
Then you might like this game, and it is a Steam key, guys. PC. I'm actually. Did you find the Twitch? Find the Twitch. Did you find the Twitter, Pixie?
Yeah, I linked it in chat.
Thank you. So we're gonna do this giveaway, and that means that if you're not following, you're not gonna get it. Oh, come on, Shriv. That's enough of the yawning. You're not gonna get it. So if you're not,
fine with the grind.
I can't stand it. So right now, those of you who are Lord Legends in the chat, throw up your waffle, please. So you can give them a little bit what for. We'll get the waffles up there because you know what that raffle sound is all about. You want to play WoW? Is it worth playing? Oh Lord.
I play WoW.
Oh Lord.
I've started playing WoW again. I haven't played it in so long, and I've started playing again, and I realized that I'm like really awful at it now. I haven't played it like a really long time. But I have so much fun.
Don't make me pass out. I know, right? Thank you for throwing up those waffles, guys. Thank you so much. Love the waffles. All right, so we are going to do the giveaway, random with the bacon. We're going to do the giveaway. So, again, this is your 2-second warning for the giveaway. Mims beginning, coming from our thank you so much, new network partner, Squatting Penguins. And Pixie has thrown up their tweeter. She'll throw it up again. Please, guys, go over and say thank you to them and welcome them to the nation. And we're going to start the giveaway. You know what that means? You're smacking that button. That means, yep, you need to go ahead and type your waffles. Pixie, they're typing waffles.
Waffles with syrup and butter. Dude, I love waffles. I want waffles now. I'm about to go to Waffle House after this show. Get wrecked. Because, you know, we don't do Huddle House here in the South. Huddle House gives you dysentery. And I'm
Ooh, is that like waffle?
I'm not about that life.
You come out with scurvy.
I guess it would be a problem.
She said
like,
dysentery.
Come out with scurvy, they give you some lemons. Oh my god.
Oh, look at Donald Gump making friends. Look at you. Get them waffles in, guys. Get them waffles.
NCG, where are you from?
All right, so we are about to. There it goes. Entries are closed. So let's see who the winner is.
I'm from a state that looks like this.
Look at that! Look who won right off the bat. Look at that. Who was it, Pixie?
An even weirder move. My new favorite person.
Congratulations.
You win! So you will be getting your key via Twitch mail. I'm gonna message it to you, and congrats on your key, my friend. And I'm gonna clear the entries out because we're gonna give another one away here. As soon as I clear it out, thank you. There we go. Try again.
That song used to be that.
I don't know what you said. I couldn't.
Bombs over.
Oh, bombs over Baghdad. I couldn't make it out. I'm so sorry.
Used to be the hype. Oh my god! Now
I couldn't make it out. I apologize.
It's happening, boys.
It's happening. All right, so the giveaways is going down. Get your waffles in. I'm gonna give out this key. Couldn't make it out. I apologize.
It's happening, boys.
It's happening. All right, so the giveaways is going down. Get your waffles in. I'm gonna give out this key.
Happy Friday the 13th and a Freddy Krueger to you too. I don't know why I said that.
Because it is Friday the 13th.
Well, I know that Jason was in Friday the 13th, but I figured if we're gonna go with like the horror movie thing on Friday the 13th, like Freddy Krueger.
Alright, there we that key.
Let's add Freddy Krueger in.
Don't forget, if you're not following, you are not eligible to win. If you haven't hit that follow button, well, you're just smashing the waffles for no reason.
I'm gonna go Paula Deen on this.
Paula
I'm gonna go Paula Deen on this waffle. Hold up, wait a minute, let me put some butter on it.
Butter on it. I'm gonna put some bacon on it. There's some bacon. Love me some bacon. Alright, got another giveaway. Hit the, share it with your friends. If you're hosting, you're gonna get, double the entries. So if you're hosting, you got double entry.
I am... Paula Deen is butter.
Paula Deen is butter.
I'm pretty sure butter just comes from her artery.
Ooh, don't be hating on Paula. She making bank.
No, I love Paula Deen.
I remember Paula Deen getting into an argument with somebody who was like, Paula Deen's food gives you diabetes. And she was arguing with him. And then he's like, and then he was like, do you have diabetes? And she's like, yes.
Paula Deen's food might give me diabetes, but I am all about Walter Brimley food, alright? I'll take the diabetes.
Oh man, don't even say that, man.
That's not nice.
Terrible.
I love Walter Brimley. Those commercials.
Alright guys, you got about another 30 seconds and I'm closing that giveaway. I
cry at ASPCA commercials and I literally just...
Jelly Bob! You win! Speak up in chat.
Yay!
Congrats.
I can't believe it's not butter. I can't believe I'm not in this commercial.
Congratulations.
Yay! If you don't speak up in chat, you don't get it. So, I'd like to officially thank Page 6 for coming on over, hanging out with us. Being back at the table. Hopefully it was a good time for you.
Of course.
And we are coming to the close of the show, and you know what happens on the close of the show? Well, we haven't changed a bit. We're going to do our shout-outs. So we're going to go to Page 6 for the first shout-out.
Yay! Oh, yeah, I haven't done this in so long. Shout out to Game Rebellion, who I love them, and I'm going to be writing for them again soon. And shout out to Big Apple Comic Con, my convention, and Eternal Con, which is coming up soon in June in Long Island. So hopefully I'll see some of you guys there. And who am I bringing it around to? That's what's important.
Pixie, go ahead.
So shouts to Paige for being back. I missed you so much.
I'll be around.
Shout outs to everyone in chat. You guys have been awesome tonight. Thanks for making the show entertaining as always, because we suck. I make fun of myself more than anybody else ever could. Shout out to Squatting Penguins. You guys are awesome. Thanks so much. We're so excited to be network partners with you. And super huge shout outs to Indie PopCon. I'll be there. You guys should be there too, or be square. Or kind of rectangular.
Rectangular, she says.
And shout outs to, as always, my favorite duo person ever, Mao. You're awesome. And thanks for getting me lots of pentas.
Well.
I don't actually get the pentas. He gets the pentas.
You don't get the pentas? He gets the pentas?
Yeah, that's what happens to replace her.
And, Paige, someone was asking for your Twitter. If you could throw up your Twitter link in the chat, or ask Pixie to throw it up for you, because I know you're working with that phone. That would be awesome. Alright, so my shout out, again, goes to Squatting Penguins for joining the nation and becoming a network partner. We appreciate you, and we appreciate you supporting our charity and our mission of shout out to Utterly Random and Elcott for being a Lord Legend. And all the rest of you Lord Legends, and shout out to Diabetes and Paula Dean.
Shout out to,
All of you,
shout out to the tapeworm.
and Elcott, all of you Lord Legends in the channel, and those of you who have taken the time to support Operation Supply Drop for their charity, we thank you so much as well. We are a giving nation. We are a supportive nation. We support other charities within our community. And we appreciate you guys stopping out each week, Friday nights, same bad channel, same bad time, episode 100. I can't believe we're already at the 100. Next week, I'm thinking we got a guest. I'm gonna check I just threw up all those emotes, and I was like, woo! I'm gonna check the calendar because we have a great guest coming up next week, and we will be back same time, same bad channel. If you
I have it open if you want to know who it is.
Do you? Go ahead.
It's Georgiana Ariola.
Yeah, Georgiana. She is really epic, you guys. If you throw up her Twitter, because if you don't know who Georgiana is, you should. This is going to be an interesting show. She's a strong personality. She's going to come sit at the table, and I'm going to take a back seat and relax, because she's got stuff to say. I can't wait to get in a conversation with her. Great story behind her and her development and her company. Another shout out goes to my husband for allowing me to do this every Friday night and being patient with my ass, because I'm not an easy bitch to live with. Not at all. So shout outs to my husband. Also shout outs to all of the stream team. You guys are holding it down. Thank you so much for volunteering week after week, throwing up your stream times and your volunteer schedule. And our new members of the stream team, thank you so much for joining. And we'll see you on the rotation. Schedule changes on Sunday. If you are a Twitch streamer and you're interested in joining our stream team, you just go over to our website, lordnation.com, and Pixie will throw up that link in a second here. And you can put in an application and see if you cut the mustard and join our team. Oh, makes you sad, random. Sorry. Yes, I am married. Well. Oh, so for those of you who are coming over for Team Bacon, Bacon Squad represents Sunday. I will be streaming Sunday, so come on over. Join the Bacon Squad. It is a rip-roaring good time. It is a all skate, which means it is not an adult rated channel on Sunday, so everybody can join. All right, so Pixie, are you streaming later this evening?
I might be.
I might be. So throw up, give yourself a caster so everybody knows where you'll be, and
my stream's the best place for all the shitty plays.
All right. She's a little loopy. Too much Dr. Pepper. Don't forget to follow us on the social media. Keep tabs on our Twitter to know when we're live. And throw up the Discord link for me, Pixie. Discord is open to everybody. Lord Bar and Grill is open for you to come hang out, chat, make some new friends. And the voice channels are open for you to use at your own discretion. So, if you are looking for someone to play a game with, check it out. Jump in the Discord. This show is not brought to you by Diet Dr. Pepper. However,
my life is.
However, Mal, if you'd like to make it brought to you Diet Dr. Pepper, get on it. Coil Rose. That'd be Miss Page 6, if you didn't know. So again, thank you, Paige, for coming on over, and you'll be seeing a little bit more of Page 6 in the future. So she will be back, no worries. Follow her on the Twitter. And yes, I know you are so sad, Random, but you can sleep. It's okay, honey. You can have a good night's rest. We'll be back on Sunday. I'm sure you'll be with me. We are going to sign off for the evening. Don't forget, sub button is the way you can support. If you cannot support via sub, then you can share, right? It's easy. Just clicky clicky. And Tomatoes, Overwatch. Yes, I want to play when it's out. Of course. I pre-ordered. Did you? Night, Jelly, and congrats on your epic loot. We're out.
Lord of the Ring people.
It's that was good. That was good.
Oh god, yeah.
We're on a mission to Mordor.
Pixie's gone over the edge.
She is. She's had not enough Diet Dr. Pepper. All right. Night.